Now available for the first time in paperback. Stop Simping: Why Men Don't Need Finance to Get Romance. Learn what mistakes not to make with women in the dating scene with Stop Simping: Why Men Don't Need Finance to Get Romance. Available in paperback and online booksellers today. 50 years ago, feminists wanted to change the way men thought, the way men behaved, the way men acted, and the way men were socialized, so they went about a campaign to socially engineer what is called a soft male. What is a soft male? Well, the feminists believe that a soft male would be somebody who would be kinder, more sensitive, more caring, and more gentle. This would be someone who would be more understanding to their needs and someone who would cater to their needs. And they believed if they socially engineered this soft male, they would have someone who was soft and pliable, someone who pretty much would be more suited to them, more catering to them, and more caring to them. And while they knew they could not turn the men of their generation into this soft male, they pretty much wanted to turn their sons into this soft male. So they went about their way trying to teach these boys ways to not be like their fathers. They tried to teach them to be more tolerant, more caring, more understanding, and these values were pretty much passed on from one generation of boys to the next generation of boys. And this is how we socially engineered the soft male. Unfortunately, because the soft male has been socially engineered, he pretty much is an aberration in nature. And when you have this soft male in society, what is happening with many of these soft males is that they're self destructing. Why is the soft male self destructing? Again, when it comes down to your soft male, he is an aberration in nature. He just does not fit into the natural aspects of human life because humanity has natural roles for men and women. And you have this soft male who pretty much is designed to think like a woman, but he's physically made and built like a man. So he pretty much does not fit within the traditional roles for men, and he doesn't fit in the roles for women. And that is what leads to this soft male having a lot of friction when he enters the world. Because inside of the environment where he's sheltered by his mother, he's perfectly fine, and that's because he has a codependent attachment to his mother, so everything appears to be fine when he's with his mother because his mother is taking care of his needs. But when this soft male goes out into the world, he then runs into a wall because he is, again, an unnatural aberration that cannot be pretty much assimilated into nature. And because he cannot assimilate into the natural environments for men and women, this is where we have the friction. Now, when it comes down to your soft male and his interactions with men, this is where he pretty much runs into a hard wall of resistance. Because when it comes down to your soft male, he has a very hard time interacting with men, socializing with men, and learning how to navigate the world as a man. Because, yes, he looks like a man on the outside, but he's a woman very much on the inside. And whenever he's around other men, he's either trying to overcompensate for his insecurities around men by being hypermasculine, or he's an effeminate male, or he's an asexual male. But in many cases, he is repelled by being in the presence of other men. He's uncomfortable in the presence of other men. And he cannot take constructive criticism or deal with the opinions of other men. When he's interacting with men, he has a hard time with them. He's more comfortable in the presence of females. However, that pretty much leads to trouble for your soft male because most females, again, they naturally don't see this man as another man. They see him basically as another woman. That's due to the feminine energy he pretty much radiates. When it comes down to these soft males, they radiate a lot of feminine energy, and they approach social interactions primarily just like a female would pretty much um, approach them. They approach things by being petty or being jealous, or they approach things by trying to do things in dysfunctional manners. The way they have been socialized, yes, they are kinder, they're gentler, they'll listen to you, but they cannot navigate a course in the world because these guys pretty much, because they're soft males, they do not have the natural skills that men were pretty much born with and taught by their fathers. They were not taught your logic, they were not taught reason, they were not taught critical thinking skills, they were not taught to be analytical, and they were not taught to be long term thinkers. Everything that your soft male does is about a course for short term. Everything that they do is about the now and not the later. And they rarely ever think about the consequences of their actions. And the reason why they don't think about the consequences of their actions is because everything is about how they feel, not thinking about the consequences of acting a certain way. And this is what gets your soft male into the most trouble in society. This is why they pretty much have the hardest time, because they do everything based on feeling, not on thinking. And that's a very dangerous course for a man, because a man has to think about the consequences of his actions. He has to think about cause and effect. And he has to think about, for every action, there's an equal or opposite reaction. However, your soft male, because he's again taught to think like a woman, doesn't think about any of these things. All he thinks about is how he feels and how other people are making him feel. So that makes him very dangerous to deal with in social interactions if you're a man or you're a woman, because when it comes down to your soft male, they have a hard time with conflict. They have a hard time dealing with things like failure, rejection, loss, and issues as such. They have a hard time dealing with these things. They have a hard time hearing the word no. They have a hard time dealing with the concept of having to persevere. They don't understand how to deal with these things. And because they run into the obstacles of life, they don't have any discipline, character, or resolve to pretty much move past a certain issue and move on to the next level. They don't know how to put a period at the end of things and move on. Because your soft male, in many cases, because they're so caught up in their feelings about things, they stay at one point in their life and they dwell on things. And as they're dwelling, they pretty much don't know how to deal with their emotions regarding a situation. This is why whenever these guys pretty much either get dumped or they lose a job, they will sit there and they will simmer, they will boil, and they will boil in anger. And eventually, their feelings will pretty much make them act in a certain way that makes them literally explode in a rage. Because this is the whole thing with the soft male. They don't know how to navigate their emotions. They don't know how to think about how they're feeling and sit there and say, yes, I feel this way, but I cannot act on those feelings. When it comes down to the soft male, he's so caught up in his feelings that he winds up acting on his feelings, and he goes out here and he commits acts of violence. This is why your soft male will go out here and do things like stalk an individual online, harass an individual online, or they'll go out here and participate in things like mass shootings, or they'll go out here and kill a former girlfriend, because they are all in their emotions. And this soft male, as one of the, again, is a socially engineered aberration. He cannot fit within nature, and he's frustrated because he's trying to find a place for himself in the nature of mankind. He just doesn't fit within mankind, because the natural role of men, pretty much, he cannot do that role because he's caught up in his emotions. And when he interacts with women, he cannot find a place or relationship with women because women see him as another woman. So he's pretty much really frustrated because he's trying to find a place for himself in the world, but there is no place for him because he, again, is a socially engineered aberration. Soft males are just not a natural thing. Men were never designed to be soft. Men were designed to be hard. Men were designed to be serious. Men were designed to be competitive. And men were designed to pretty much be thinkers. They were not designed to be friendly, kind, soft. They were not designed to be these things. They were not designed to be this all up in their emotions, all sensitive, all in their feelings. This is unnatural for men. And the problem with most of these soft males is that they want to be heterosexual men, but they've been raised to be pretty much women. And because they've been raised and socialized to be women, they try to navigate a course in the world, and they wind up hitting a brick wall, And every time they hit the brick wall, they become more and more frustrated. And that frustration pretty much, again, simmers and boils. And because they do not know how to deal with their emotions, and they pretty much have been taught to act impulsively by their mothers and the women in society, they go out here and act on their emotions and participate in horrific acts of violence. This soft male, again, the feminists thought they were going to socially engineer a better man, but what they've actually engineered is an aberration that has become an abomination, and this abomination is pretty much wreaking havoc on society in the 21st century. Males, again, were not designed to be soft. They were not designed to be sensitive. Yes, they are. They can care. They can understand. But the way men are raised, it takes a man to teach a man how to be a man. A woman, when she teaches a man to be a man, just creates a mangina. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe.